On Thursday evening, School Superintendent Joshua Starr met with members of the Board of Representatives and the public for nearly 3 hours, during which he elaborated on his proposed budget for the 2011-2012 school year, and he received feedback from members of the community. As was expected, the superintendent's spending plan reflects many cuts to the current school budget. However, Starr's proposal cuts heavily into district spending for special education. Dr. Starr's PowerPoint presentation is available on the district website, stanfordpublicschools.org. Here are a few responses to his proposal.
Good evening, Board of Education members of Dr. Starr. My name is Shabbat Marcus, and I have a daughter who attends Turner River Middle School and a son that attends KT Murphy. The reason why I'm here today is because my daughter came home one day telling me about how they were going to cut social workers. My experience with what the social workers offer Stanford is a perfect example of why the Board of Education needs to find someone else to save money. This is my story. I got a call one day from a lady I didn't know who stated she was a social worker. I'm thinking, oh Lord, what did my child do? So I said, okay. She proceeded to tell me about my daughter, how she comes to school every morning with a smile on her face saying good morning to everyone. She thought my daughter had a cheerful attitude, but on this one particular day, she noticed that my daughter wasn't her normal self. She pulled her aside and asked her if everything was all right. For whatever reason, my daughter told her how we lost everything. Although I wouldn't wish this on anyone, please imagine this. I came home from the hospital from having surgery, stopped to pick up the sitter to assist me to get my pain medication from the pharmacy, and on my way back, I saw my house was on fire. The frying pan was left on. Thank God my children were not at home at the time. I thank God for protecting us. Soon I was overwhelmed with worry. Where would I live? How would we rebuild our lives? For instance, what about school? How would my kids get to school? Would they have to change schools? How would they adapt to losing their things? How would they handle this emotionally? Would they get the things they need, like new clothes? How would they feel about living in an apartment with no furniture? How could I provide the support now that I wasn't under stress, physically and emotionally? How would this affect them in school? Imagine if you can. Who would care about what happens to me and my children? I was expected to continue going to work in school each morning. I needed help with so many things. I had to keep myself together. How were my children going to concentrate and study? I'd be afraid they'd get off track. We needed help desperately. Red Cross put my family up for 2 days in a hotel, and I was grateful. But then, with no place to go, and not knowing anyone in Connecticut, I returned to New York to stay at a friend's house, commuting every day to get my kids to school. With little to no money, I didn't know what my next move was. The school social worker talked to me, understood my situation. Then things happened. She did things for our family for which I would forever be grateful to the Stanford school system. She coordinated all our efforts. I never imagined how quickly the school would work to make sure my children would be able to continue attending school without all the problems that could have thrown them off track. The social workers reached out to schools and communities. She helped us get furniture, beds, pots, pans, gift cards, new clothes for my kids, food, school supplies, and thanks to her, the Stanford school system was there to help us begin all over again. She spoke with, excuse me. Counsel under me, and I never knew families had such advocates in school. Instead of my daughter falling between the cracks, she learned an important life lesson. The social worker taught us how important my children were to the school community here, and why it matters to Stanford that my family remains strong and to become well educated. I vote against removing or shortening the school workers' building hours. Thank you for your time.
Transition coordinator. We have children who are 16 years old, and we don't even have a transition plan for them. We don't even have a plan for next year. We take take our ASD kids in high school and go year by year. What's going on there? Everybody else has a plan. Where's ours? I really do believe that your budget will result in direct IEP violations, and Stanford Public School will be held accountable. You have already violated our children's civil rights by presenting a budget that is so disproportionate. What the heck is next? Please think twice about these cuts. SE4A, our organization, will not be here to bail you out. I'm sorry. Thank you. And additional materials to supplement ASD services. And I do have those stats. If any one of you want them, I will be more than happy to email them. It's pretty sad that SE4A supplied our Stanford High School classroom with Don Johnson versions of required literacy books, as well as touch math for the elementary students who can master everyday math. Stanford Public Schools has a math and literacy program. Why did we pay for these materials? And the answer is simple. You couldn't provide them, and we got tired of waiting for them, as if Stanford is part of a third world country and our ASD students are waiting for the boat of supplies to arrive. We purchased an ADA-approved changing table for the preschool kindergarten children at Westover. They were being changed on the floor. I guess that would have been a direct violation of some health code that should have been brought to the attention of the Board of Health, but we elected to save you that cost and embarrassment, and SE4A bought that. Again, are we part of a third world country? If so, perhaps that's the DERG we should be compared to. But I am really, truly sorry for this, because many of you sitting on this board are our supporters of our organization. However, we too need to tighten our belts. We can no longer financially resolve your violations of IEP mandates. Stanford has trouble meeting the simplest of the demands. You know, at age 15 years old, we're supposed to have the start of the beginning of a transition coordinator. We have children who are 16 years old, and we don't even have a transition plan for them. We don't even have a plan for next year. We take our ASD kids in high school and go year by year. What's going on there? Everybody else has a plan. Where's ours? I really do believe that your budget will result in direct IEP violations, and Stanford Public School will be held accountable. You have already violated our children's civil rights by presenting a budget that is so disproportionate. What the heck is next? Please think twice about these cuts. SE4A, our organization, will not be here to bail you out. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I am a mother, a parent of a child that has gone through the school system. And I think the school system is a good school system. It's a viable school system. I'm not going to blame all this on Dr. Starr because he's just a person that presented a budget or presented a theory by which the board should either vote on, vote up, vote down, or whatever they're going to do. So I'm going to lay a lot of the charge on this board because he's just one man. I feel that how these budget cuts came about were they just took a title and said, okay, we're going to cut this one, and this one. They never went to the teachers. They never went to the social workers to find out exactly what the stories were, what they did, how much time they put in, what some of the questions were. They just started cutting because someone told them they needed to cut. So they just started cutting. I've listened to stories here that, probably there's other stories that are worse that I haven't even heard, but I can't believe as a parent that any of you all, whether you're grandparents, parents, whether you're uncles, aunts, whatever, could possibly not sit down and rethink some of the cuts that you could definitely have some input in stopping or rerouting or redoing. We have to educate all of our children. We are not discretionary. We can't be discretionary and not be educating our children. We have to make sure that every parent that has a child that lives in the city that wants to go to school, whether they be normal or in parentheses, deprived in some area mentally or physically, that they're helped. And that's all that I mean, these parents have worked hard, and they work hard every day to make sure that they can raise children that are going to matriculate in society, because we know we're not going to be here always. What's going to happen to our children? Where are they going to be? What are they going to be? Are they going to increase the roles of homelessness, or are we going to make sure that they are able to work and take care of themselves, have as good a life as they can in this country? And so I am charging the whole board, think about what you're going to do when you decide to make cuts. Sometimes everybody likes to start at the bottom and start with all the teachers, the people that are supportive. When you build a house, you build a good foundation, and then you put the house on it. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is McHugh. I'm a senior at the Westhill Arts Program. I would like to share with you the success that this program has given me. Every student has a unique situation that has brought us here. My goals that I set coming into the program were to improve my attendance and to be on track with my graduating class. This is something I would have not been able to do without the arts program. I came into the school my junior year with 30 credits. Now we're into the last half of my senior year, and I have maintained almost perfect attendance, very good grades, and will be graduating with 102 credits. The support system at my school is incredible. My teachers and staff are extremely understanding and supporting of us. They have continuously encouraged me to follow my dream and pursue the medical field. I will be the first in my family to attend college in the fall. I strongly believe this program has helped many kids succeed and given them opportunities they may have not received in other schools. Even though I will not be returning next year, I urge you to keep this program. I worry for the kids who have similar issues as me. I also have a younger sister who attends the program, and I worry how her senior year will turn out without the support of the teachers and the school. Please take my story and others like it into consideration when making your decision. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jill Chuckus. I have 3 children currently in the Stanford schools. I have a 6th grader at Schofield, and then I have a 4th grader and a kindergartner at Springdale. I count myself lucky. My children would be more what you would be categorized as gifted. Of course, we don't have gifted programs for them, so I do a lot of outside enrichment with them. But I also have a background in social work. I worked for 10 years as a school social worker up in Milford. So I have dual perspectives. Cutting special ed teachers, first of all, will immediately trickle down on the services that my children currently receive, because the regular ed teachers will be spending countless more hours trying to remediate, trying to support all of the different students that are in the classroom. So despite the fact that my children don't receive special education services, I see losing special educators as directly impacting my child's education. And that frustrates and concerns me. As a former school social worker, I know the job that these men and women have, and it's a different job every single day. There is always a crisis. There's never a day that doesn't have one. And there's always multiple hats that have to be worn throughout the day. At one moment, you're helping a classroom teacher with a behavioral strategy. The next moment, you're called into the principal's office because a student's acting out. The next moment, you have a parent calling you crying because they don't know how to help their child. And the next moment, you have a child walking in crying because their parents are getting divorced. And that's in 1 hour. So the jobs that these folks are already doing is just incredible. And to think that there'll be less of them with the types of problems that are facing our children these days is amazing to me. I can't imagine there being less of them to do these jobs. I really urge you to look at these things. Our district is getting more and more needs, not less and less. Other people have spoken to the litigation that may begin to happen. IEPs will not be in compliance. There will be litigation happening. The federal standards won't be met. The state standards won't be met. It's hard enough to meet them with the staff we currently have. I can imagine having less. So I really urge you to look at those things and to reevaluate how to better serve our children. Where can we better serve our children so that our staff members aren't the ones that are being cut? We need them. Thank you.
My name is Joshua Brown. I graduated from the arts program. I was a kid that was really on the wrong path, but the arts program and Stanford Public Schools helped me turn around. That's number one. Now, I work at RBS Citizens Bank as a flexible banker. I'm in school to get my bachelor's degree. I have a sister who went to the arts program. She's in Virginia State University on a 4-year scholarship. It's all paid for. The arts program is why I'm here today. But we also have to look at a lot of different things. It was the arts program, it was community leaders, it was religious leaders, it was a lot of things. And what we all have to understand is everybody has to come in place here. We need more community leaders here. We need more religious leaders here. We need more parents here. Because I'm going to tell you, it didn't take just one thing to turn me around. It was a lot. And I am not here to step on any toes. I know it's the board. We can say John Starr, we can say the board, but everybody has to play in this thing. Everybody. We need more people to help out. I will give you a prime example. Edward Singleton is here. He was my 6th grade IBM teacher. And when we went on to high school, Edward Singleton was still there. When we left high school, Edward Singleton was still there. We need more people like that. We can't just say more money, more money, more money, more money. I work in the bank, and trust me, I know things are being slashed. We have to understand that we're going to have to work more for less. We need the help of everybody. So if we can't get more money, let's get involved some way, somehow. Let's get to the schools. If you have a neighbor and you know that your child needs help, go and see if that person is a teacher or a professor or something. We all have to get involved here. So that's why I'm here tonight, to let everybody know, let's all get involved. We know that we're facing a crisis. Let's do something about it. We can't, I know there might be a time when you guys are saying now that we've got to cut the social workers and things like that. Yes, we do need social workers, but let's have a plan. Let's sit down, let's have a conversation. Let's say, guess what? I know this might happen for 6 months or a year, but what are we going to do the following year? Let's have a plan. Let's get focused. Let's everybody get on one team, one agenda, and I'm pretty sure that we can fix all these problems. Thank you.